Welcome to a new kind of ministry report. Whilst it would be wrong to say that the COVID years had no effect at all on the ministry project, nevertheless, there is some good news to report. The work has gone on, and it's gone on under the auspices of the ministry team. Last year, the ministry team was in its infancy. During this year, it's attracted new members and is now well set to plan for the future. We've lost the Reverend Charlie Lloyd Evans to parochial ministry in England. Charlie had two roles connected with the ministry project. She was Warden of Readers, the first person to hold that office, and also, another first, chaplain to the learning community. The new Warden of Readers is Dr. Angel Afolabi, and she's looking forward to her new role.
I'm really elated that one, the diocese thought enough to ask me to perform in that position, and two, their confidence in me to perform the role. I'm really excited about working with new readers and learning and growing with them.
The new chaplain to the community is Father Kent Middleton. His role in supporting those who are considering their vocations, preparing for selection and training has been all the more important as the community hasn't been able to meet together physically. Thanks to Zoom, we've been able to meet together for 2 ministerial training days, which have brought together the entire learning community. And we've also, a new innovation we've also had a 1-day continuing ministerial development session, which has brought together all the clergy and ministers of the diocese, also on Zoom. The other members of the team are Archdeacon Christopher, who is Vocations and Ordinations Officer, and his assistant in the Gulf, Canon Harrison Chinakuma, along with Canon Paul Burt and the Ministry Administrative Officer, Dr. Helen Perry, herself no stranger to the issues in higher education today. The ministry team has had plenty of planning to do. In the next few months, we hope to hold our twice-postponed selection conference, or Bishop's Advisory Panels it's sometimes called, traditionally held at Ras El Khaimah. We have a number of prospective candidates for whom the waiting has been frustrating.
It was like, but when you look at the other reasons, it's not just yourself you've got to look at, you've got to look at the other reasons around it. And it just made perfect sense that it was cancelled.
Later in the year, we hope to hold our second summer school at the Near East School of Theology in Beirut, following the success of the last one in 2019. We shall have a meeting of our Theological Educators group. That's the group of academics and ministry training specialists who validate our training pathways every 3 years. And later this year, also at the request of the Standing Committee, we shall be taking part in a complete review of ministerial training, deployment, selection and so on, which will be the first since 2013-2014. The review will look at 3 areas. This will be the first such review since the review of 2013, which set out the ground rules for the ministry project as it's developed. They were agreed by Synod in 2014 when 9 recommendations were accepted. So for this review, the terms of reference will be to assess the progress made on those 9 recommendations, to consider the potential ministry needs of the diocese during the next 5 years in the light of current economic and political and demographic change, with particular reference to lay and self-supporting ministry, to set out a strategy for discernment, training and deployment of ministers in response to those needs. There's a kind of syllogism really about ministerial training. What kind of church, what kind of ministry, therefore what kind of training. During the summer, in another Zoom session, the diocese further strengthened its input to the management of our basic theological teaching and learning course that we call Exploring Faith, which is validated by Queen's College Newfoundland. We have 3 groups currently in the Gulf and 3 groups working in Cyprus. During the year, we hope to see more people graduate from the course with either a diploma in higher education or indeed a Bachelor of Theology degree, to add to our existing alumni. In September, Archdeacon Christopher will assume the role of Director of Ministry at the end of what has been quite a successful transitional period, because when he begins his work, he will be able to have, as it were, a clean sheet with a newly post-review synod-given mandate, with a newly validated educational scheme, a functioning and talented ministry team, and a succession of both ordinands and potential readers. There could be no better person than to take over those reins. I wish him well. I'm sure that the ministry project will continue and grow and thrive, and that's certainly my prayer for it. Thank you very much.